So all those Scourge are flying around in the wrong spot and totally missing this shuttle, which is going to go drop DTs all up in HoeJJa's main. Luckily, he's got an Overlord there. Not so luckily, he doesn't have any units, so unless he's paying attention to his main, which, as we've learned, pro gamers do not do. Oh man, fortunately, that flying attacked with his Sers and alerted HoeJJa to the intruders in his base. The Sers did manage to pick off that Overlord, so there goes the Spire, and I don't see anything else coming in for HoeJJa to defend this. I think he wants to push the front, and this really is the everything build. This is Sers into DTs into Shuttle into Reaver, which is weird because normally you just go Sarah Reaver and then transition to the Templar later. But apparently that's not what flying wants to do, and I mean, I can't fault him. This is obvious. The results speak for themselves. Those DTs need to micro themselves to the other side of that hatchery, though. Other side of the hatchery. Nah, in the lair goes down, and now HoeJJa's in a terrible position. Wow. I continue to be impressed with Flying's play. I think his name sucks, and I'd rather call him GosI, despite the fact that I probably shouldn't. I just might do that instead. It's a way sweeter name, I think from here on out we're just going to go with GosI. I don't care. I'm really impressed with his play. I think he understands this matchup in a way that he shouldn't, being a up-and-comer. But that's great, and I think he's really going to be one of the top performers for eSTRO. I think he's got a lot of potential to really have a breakout year this year. Wetting my throat a little bit there. These games have been longer than I expected, and some quite draining actually to cast 2 series in a row. But I'm gonna persevere because I'm awesome like that. So the unfortunate thing about GosI's little everything build is that he's just now getting his third, which isn't terrible considering HoeJJa's still on 3 bases and has no main. Actually, he's on like 2 bases, but it's still a super late third, and it shows you how much GosI's strategy was sort of reliant on denying that 4th base and getting harassment done, which he was, I think, more effective than he really should have been. That was especially effective, or at least more effective than he expected to be. So that put him into a really great position right now, and I think he's going to steamroll HoeJJa pretty soon, or eventually. Yeah. This is the Reaver and Zealots. You have Hydras. We're going to destroy those. You can't do anything about it. Oh man, that's a pretty nice use for Hydras in the back there, sniping one of the Reavers. And that Reaver needs to... yeah, that shuttle gets sniped. It was almost killed by that Spore colony. So that's the danger of playing with Reavers in a shuttle in a pro game, is that is really weak, and that can die, and that's a huge force of your army. So that pretty much kills GosI's ability to be offensive for a little bit. He's probably got Storm Tech done, and or almost done, and Templar popping out, so he'll be able to push out soon. Yeah, he's already got Templar, and we're going to see Storms all over these Hydras. I can guarantee it. Okay, I lied. We saw Storms, but they missed the Hydras, unfortunately, for GosI. Oh man, nice clutch Archon there. He doesn't get that Templar sniped, so that's good for him. And the nice thing about these sorts of everything builds is you don't have the problem with the standard Bisu build where you're trying to build this huge army and they're like, oh crap, I gotta build a Robo Bay and an Observatory and observers, and oh man, the Zerg has complete map control by the time I can deal with the Lurkers. You already have all your tech. You have all your tech before you try to take your third, so when you want to take your third, you can do it. And there's not a whole lot the Zerg can do about it. And I think that's sort of what we're seeing here from HoeJJa, who's having small little armies exterminated ad hoc all throughout the map. So many Zealots doing damage to the Zerg, but getting nice and softened up by those Zerg, by those Hmm. Zerg lurkers. Ah, see what I did there. And now finally we're gonna see a third base from HoeJJa. Wow, that really allowed that one hatchery sniper really, or the delay of the fourth base and then the snipe of the main really just destroyed HoeJJa's game plan, and he's trying to get back to it, but it's gonna be really hard for him. More shuttle play coming out here. More Uber DTs in a shuttle, gonna snipe everything. What are those Hydras doing up there? They're just like, we're gonna stand as far away from the action in the entire map as possible. I guess they think they're gonna get a flank, but... And we're gonna see a High Templar drop, as the Korean announcers have just uttered in sweet, transliterated speech. That's not really... Wow, that's a lot of Hydras in the main, and that's a lot of... he chose to storm the drones. I think he probably would have better off just storming all those clumped Hydras that were sitting there. In the end, the shuttle gets away with very little health. He's got 2 shuttles now, so he's obviously committed to harass. This is another thing that's really great about the Cereva and the sort of everything build is you get shuttle speed, and shuttle speed is great if the game goes longer, because that means you have this amazing ability to harass. Because speed shuttles are so much better than regular shuttles. Regular shuttles can't really go out. They're like children. They can't stay out past, say, 9 o'clock without an escort of Corsairs, because they'll just get owned. But speed shuttles, you can kind of run them around by themselves as long as you're paying some sort of attention to them. Because as long as you don't directly run into Scourge, Scourge can't catch them. And Hydras, well, you have to worry about running into Hydras regardless of any type of shuttle. But still, you're paying attention for Scourge, you can run not into Hydras too. So these sets of drops haven't really been all that effective for GosI. That's unfortunate for him, but he's sticking to it, and this one is going to work much better. Bam! Bye-bye drones. It gets like 8 drone kills there. So that's good for him. And this is, again, so much of the... I don't know if I like the 4-base Turtle Zerg strategy originally, and then especially in this situation where we've got a lot of you've had your 4th delayed and you have a lot of harass done, and ooh, shuttle dodge. That was a ballsy shuttle, and he paid the price. And this shuttle just gets sniped by Scourge, so man, HoeJJa's finally on top of all that harass, but I don't know if it's gonna matter. The 4-base sort of Turtle Zerg into destroy everything build gives a lot of... It lets the Protoss take an easy 3rd, and I think not letting the Protoss have a 3rd is really strong, because if you can delay the 3rd, not even just deny it, but delay it sufficiently long, then the Protoss basically mines out their main and their natural, and they're fighting 1 base, and you'll probably have at least 2 mining bases at this point, double their mineral intake, which is great for you. By doing this, sure, you get an extra, you get a quick 4th, you get an extra base, but so does the Protoss, and then all of a sudden it's 4 on 3 instead of 3 on 2, or 2 on 1, which you can see, obviously, that's not as good of a numerical situation. And in this situation, it really I really don't like it at all.